Hi everybody, welcome back. I am Dr. Balamurugan. Today we are going to deal with one of the important human resource strategy. It is performance appraisal. It is going to be episode 3. In the first episode, I have explained you about the importance as well as the objectives and need of performance appraisal. In the second episode, we have discussed about the performance appraisal process. As I have mentioned you in the second performance appraisal process, today we are going to look into some of the important performance appraisal methods. There are three important methods are there, or we can group the performance appraisal methods under three category. One is individual evaluation methods, which mean the evaluation will happen on one-to-one basis. Second one is multiple person evaluation method, where one employee will be compared to the another employee. And third one is the modern method, okay, which are all the upcoming or much contemporary methods. Okay, let us get into the presentation slides. And yes, this is what I have mentioned. One is individual evaluation method, another one is multiple person evaluation method, where it will be compared with another employee, or in the panel more than one appraiser will be there. Another one, other methods. Okay, in this episode we are going to talk about the first method. Okay, this one. Okay, let us get into the detailed explanation of all these 8 evaluation methods. First one, it is confidential report. Okay, it comes under individual evaluation method, where employees are evaluated one at a time, and moreover the employees will not be compared with any other employee in an organization. So first one is confidential report. This type of evaluation is vastly used in the government organizations. So it is not a quantitative report, rather it is very descriptive one. Usually it will be presented at the end of the year, where immediate supervisor or the superior will be preparing this report. Okay, so it is not based on the data, it is about the impression of the supervisor about the subordinate. Okay, so no feedback will be shared to the appraisee. Okay, it will be submitted to the higher authorities of an organization. So no feedback will be provided to the appraisee, because generally this is not made public. It is not made public. Okay, so in during the recent years, because of the lot of pressures put on the corporates through the trade union, and also from the pressure what they had from the courts, labor court, now at least the negative confidential report are given to the appraisee. So there are certain drawbacks are there in this system, because it is not based on the, or it is not data driven. So there is a drawback, and moreover the feedback is not quite often shared to the employees of the organization. Moving to the second one, that is also little bit descriptive one, but the upcoming method will be little more specific than the confidential report. It is SA evaluation method. Okay, here the appraiser, or say the rater, will express the strong as well as the weak points of the employee's behavior. While preparing the essay on the employee, some of the major factor which are all considered are the following ones. One, it is about the knowledge what the employee have on his job, and and what is the potential he is having, to what extent they were serving the job description provided to them. That is the first one. Second one, to what extent they know the company's vision, mission and objectives of the organization and the policies of the organization. And third one, the rapport what they have built with their co-workers, superiors and their colleagues. The next one, their ability, the basic functional ability of management like planning, organizing and controlling, and about the attitudes and perceptions of the employees will also be included in this essay evaluation. This method is being descriptive. It also got certain limitations as like the previous method. So the one major limitation is it is highly subjective, so there is a higher chance that the superior may write biased information. So biased information can be written by the superior. And then the employees who are sycophants in the sense a person who tries to please someone in order to gain an personal advantage, we call it as sycophants. Okay, sycophants. So sometimes say if an employee tries to please the immediate supervisor, so he will be more favorably evaluated than the other employees of the organization. We cannot say every supervisor will be good in writing essay, so there may be a chance some evaluators may be poor in writing essay, so they may not reveal actually what they want to reveal. And some other employees, say some other supervisor may be superficial in writing the content, so there is a chance of exaggerating or not actually reflecting the performance of the employee. And another drawback is it is a very time consuming process. Okay, suppose say one is time consuming. Suppose if you are urging the superior to submit the report, it may be prepared all in a hurry and may not be due importance may be given to the real performance appraisal of the employee. So both the above two methods are much of descriptive in nature. Coming to the next one, it is it is like incidents oriented. So where the key important incidents are noted over and then it will be presented during the performance appraisal evaluation. So third one is critical incident technique, where the outstanding as well as the poor behavior of the employees are noted down when and where they make it. Okay, then and there it will be recorded. So or else they will maintain a diary, the immediate superior will be recording those information. Okay, so it will be highly important in terms of the maintaining the log books. Okay, so a log book will be maintained for each employee, whereby he periodically records the incident behavior. If it is good behavior, immediately they will be noting it down. Similarly, when it is a poor behavior, again they will be noting the poor behavior. So I thought of explaining it further. So I have given two important incidents. So one, I have started with the good critical incident. So you can understand by reading that one. Okay, take a minute and read it, what it actually says, what it is revealing. Good critical incident. Suppose say in July 20, the sales clerk patiently attended to the customer's complaint. Okay, a salesperson is there, he received the complaint from the customer in a very courteous way. So he is polite, prompt, enthusiastic in solving the customer's problem. So something good. Okay, he is very polite and he is listening to the customer's complaint. This is the good incident. It will be noted down in Mr. X logbook. So there can be a situation. Where it can be sometimes bad also. Say if it goes other way, bad critical incident. July 20, the sales assistant stayed 45 minutes over on his break time during the busiest part of the day. So he knows that is the sales assistant is aware that is one of the important time where the customers will be making the complaint or they want to attend the customer, but that sales assistant spent extra 45 minutes over the break time. Then he failed to answer the store manager's call thrice. Okay, so the here that just the opposite of the good incident, he is lazy, negligent and stubborn and uninterested in work. So there are two incidents are reported. So based on this you can evaluate the employee's performance. This is just an example. Like this there can be many incidents may happen. So the major advantage of these type of evaluation technique is it is objective basis. So also you can avoid the recent biasness, because you may not, the immediate supervisor or the superior may not remember the each and every incident. So whatever is the recent incident happened, that may come to his mind. But in case of these type of technique, as when it happens, it is noted down in the logbook. Easily the evaluator or say the immediate supervisor can look into every details of the employee. So it is the another advantage, that's what I have mentioned here. So it is objective basis and also it can avoid recent biasness. So coming to the, see, if you look into the this particular evaluation method, you can understand slowly we are trying to get into from descriptive to objective, or we are trying to get into more specific form of evaluation. Okay, so next one is checklist or weighted checklist. So every supervisor may have their own method of evaluating the employee. Sometimes they may give importance to some questions, sometimes they may not. So in order to overcome that, so the organization will provide certain a checklist. Okay, a checklist represents what will be there. It is a simplest form. Okay, maybe a type of a form which need to be filled, which contains some of the objective as well as the descriptive statements will be there. Okay, if the rater believes strongly that the employees possess a particular listed trait, he checks the item, otherwise he can leave it blank. Okay, a more recent variation of the checklist is the weighted checklist or weighted list, which means to say you cannot give equal weightage to all the questions. So based on the importance of the job description or based on the importance of the key performance indicators, the weightage will vary. So that is why it is called as weighted average or weighted checklist. Weighted checklist is a superior method over the general checklist method. Some of the questions you can see where the supervisor or the rater can make it. The following are some of the sample questions in the checklist. Is the employee really interested in the task assignment? Is he respected by his colleagues or say peer group? Does he give respect to his superior? Does he follow the instructions properly? Does he make mistakes frequently? So it is a sample, these are all sample questions. There may be some more important questions can be created based on the requirements of the job. Okay, you understand what I am telling? Yes. Okay, so it got its own limitation also. By this time you might have analyzed the limitations. Can you guess few limitations on it? You take few seconds to guess it. Can you guess, can you make what can be the some of the limitations of this method, checklist and weighted checklist method? Yes, some of the limitations are, again, the biasness may happen because some rater may give more weightage to the positive question, some may give weightage to the negative question, and again this method is expensive and time consuming, and it is difficult for the manager to assemble, analyze and weigh each and every statement. Okay, coming to the next one, it is graphic rating scale. Okay, I think you are well aware of the Likert scaling method, how people will be evaluated. Okay, the most commonly used as well as the oldest method of performance evaluation is the graphic rating scale. Under this method, a printed form is used to evaluate the performance of an employee. I will show you how it looks like. This shows the, say, the title of that graphic rating scale. Actual graphic rating scale will be like this. A set of questions will be there, and then say certain options, something like which you follow in the 5-point Likert scale, it will be given on the top. Okay, suppose the range can be from 5 to 1. Okay, so based on that you can give the scores over the columns whatever is mentioned here. One, say they have mentioned the quantity of work, how much of work the particular employee can do in his job, particular say quality of work. Okay, how, to what extent is performance, how neatness and thoroughness and accuracy, to what extent he is having the knowledge of the job, and attitude to enthusiasm, cooperativeness, and his rapport with the supervisor and his rapport with the subordinates, and dependability. Okay, conscientious, thorough, reliable, dependent. So to what extent we can depend on him, to what extent he is a reliable guy in terms of performance, so that also can be evaluated. Okay, okay, good. So then next one, cooperation. That's what I have already told you, willingness to cooperate towards the organizational goals. It is called graphic rating scale. Okay, yes. So more explanation on graphic rating scale. Okay, you can read and understand. So moving into the next one, very important one, it is called behaviorally anchored rating scale, or simply it is called as bars. B-A-R-S, it is called as bars, behaviorally anchored rating scale. Okay, understand? Okay, what does it mean? Okay, it is a combination. Okay, it is a combination of what? It is a combination of rating scale which we have discussed in the previous slide, as well as the critical incident what we have discussed before that one. So we are going to put together and we are going to create a method to evaluate the performance of the employees. Okay, if you look here you can understand. So what does this chart represent? Okay, what does it mean? Okay, bars in general, I am going to the previous slide, I will tell you. Okay, bars in general, usually the drawback of the graphical rating scale, what is the, I am taking you to the previous method. The drawback of this method, that is the graphic rating scale method, the major drawback of this method is that, if you see here, you are going to give some numbers. Okay, so numerical. Okay, this scale is numerical, that maybe runs from low to high. Okay, so you cannot understand if the score is 5, what does that 5 mean? You cannot understand. So you need the analysis to be more specific. Okay, if it is 4, quantity of work 4 means what? Okay, so you want to have a more specific behavior. So in order to overcome this limitation, so in the case of graphic rating scale, so more explanation will be given. So that is, it provides a description of each assessment along a continuum. So this is a continuum, this is a continuum. So if it is 10 means what? Suppose, what does this slide says? A good constructional order of material slides smoothly from one topic to another. Design of, actually this graph shows about the behavior of a college professor. Okay, suppose say you are asking a student to rate the professor, how he can rate. So you are giving certain items over here. If you read the first one, the question is, he follows a course syllabus, presents lecture in a logical order, try ties each lecture into the previous one. So suppose say if you are going to say 1, or if you are going to say 10, what does that 1 represent, what does the 10 represent, okay, which is not explained in the previous one, graphic rating scale, but in case of bar it will be explained. You look into the another side, look into this side. Suppose if you are giving the score as 10, what does the 10 mean? He follows a course syllabus, presents lecture in a logical order, ties each lecture into the previous one. So 10 means, what does the 10 means? So different people will understand it in a different way or interpret in a different way, but in this continuum, if these items are specific, so every evaluator will understand the value 10 in the same way. You understand what I am telling? Bars forms overcome the problem of subjectivity. You understand how it will try helps to overcome the subjectivity? By providing an actual description of the performance for each rating along this continuum, rather than that one simple word that graphic rating scale provides, just 4 or 3, or say unsatisfactory, satisfactory, whatever it is, it will be too confusing. Suppose say if you are giving 2, the value, you give the value 2, what does the 2 mean here? The instructor, mean to say the professor, could be expected to lecture a good deal of the time about subjects other than the subject he or she is supposed to lecture on, which mean to say the professor is not sticking to the content, okay, he is moving out of the syllabus or out of the content. So students were telling he can concentrate or he can spend more time on the real syllabus also. That is how this method is important. Okay, what is this method? Behaviorally anchored rating scale. Coming to the next one, forced choice method. Okay, this is a little bit what I can say, not much practiced, because it is a bit of complicated method where set of questions will be given to the rater, a phrase, it will be looking like a phrase where the supervisor will not create this one, HR manager will create this one, but the supervisor have to make mark on it, or they have to give the values, they have to give yes or no. Okay, he cannot leave any of the questions over here. That is what it is called as forced choice method. Okay, questions also it will be, seems to be a little bit confusing. Okay, if you see, suppose say if you are going to evaluate employee X, the question is, does he works hard or does he works quickly? You can, the rater can choose only one, he cannot go more than one. Okay, similarly shows initiative, next one is responsive to customers, only one you can go with. Produces poor quality, lack good work habits. You cannot say he is not producing poor quality, you cannot say he lacks good work habits, any one you have to choose it. Okay, that is why it is called as forced choice method. It was developed by JP Guilford. So this method is considered to be more reliable method. It also has its own drawback, because the for preparing the phrases you need a very highly trained technicians. Okay, and also it will be very expensive, and at times the managers also may feel frustrated in rating the employees, because even they may not understand what does this line represents. Okay, so it may not be useful for training the employees, but the rater himself does not know how he is evaluating the worker. So little bit complicated method. Moving to the next one, or say final method in the case of individual evaluation. So very familiar method, already you might have studied this plenty number of time. It is management by objectives. I need not explain it in very detail, but still those who are those who are very new to these concepts, let me explain it. MBO. So you know MBO is a most comprehensive method where subordinates will set their goals within the framework of the organizational goals. So a major organizational goal will be set. Within the organizational goal, the individual need to set their goal, and periodically it will be verified to what extent they were able to attain the goal. So I am not going to explain the steps one by one. That's what it says. Set the organizational goal, set the department goal, discuss the department goals with the employees, define what is expected from them, and do the performance review, and then provide feedback. So I am coming with a diagram, step by step diagram, performance appraisal under an MBO program. What does it mean? First you set the organizational goal. Based on the organizational goal, you set the department goal, and also you make some metrics so that you can measure it. Then supervisor list goals and metrics for subordinate. That is step number 3A. Based on the instructions given by the supervisor, subordinate will also set the goal. Okay, they will also list it out. Based on their mutual concern, step number 4 will come. Okay, that is what? Mutual agreement of goal and metrics. Okay, with the discussion to the supervisor, the employees will also set their goal. After setting the goal, they will work. Okay, so they will perform. So inappropriate goals or metrics are there in this step, that will be deleted. Okay, new inputs are provided and they will be working. Okay, during when as they work, okay, so their performance will be reviewed. So it is called as interim review. Okay, why interim reviews are done? Because they should not make the problem to aggregate. Okay, if there are any inappropriate metrics are there, it need to be deleted, or if the employee is deviating, you should see that he is getting back to the track. Okay, and then final review will be happening. Okay, so based on the review, organizational performance will be evaluated, or so to what extent the employee have helped to attain the strategic goals of the organization will be measured. That is step number 7. Okay, so with this I bring this topic to end. Maybe in the upcoming episode we will talk about multiple person evaluation methods. Thank you for listening to me. Have a nice day.